was it out there today?
Really solid. I'm happy with my performance, and especially, with the way I kept my intensity from the beginning till the end. So, I don't know. I felt kind of like peacefully and really confident.
Questions?
Congrats, Iga.
Thanks.
With the roof closed due to the rain this morning when you kind of woke up, was it easier to, I guess, go into that match slightly more relaxed or focused, knowing that obviously the roof would eliminate a lot of the variables that sometimes you have to deal with on an outdoor match?
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing I was kind of thinking about was wind, because sometimes you can feel it here on this court. So, but we still weren't sure actually before the match if the roof is going to be opened or closed. They only told us 15 minutes before, and they weren't still sure. I mean, at that point they were sure, but before they were kind of looking for the how the forecast looks like. So I was ready for both scenarios, but for sure it felt a little bit like Roland Garros 2020 because of the weather today, and I knew that I can play well in these conditions.
It might be awkward to explain about yourself, but what do you think makes you a great front runner and a player who's able to win dominantly and 6-1, 6-1 sets often?
Well, I think all the mental stuff, I'm always kind of trying to stay present and do the same work no matter what stage of the match I'm in, So yeah, I think that's the main thing, because honestly, that's the only thing that comes to my mind, like why sometimes, it's harder to finish, or sometimes when you're leading, you might lose your serve or something. It's only because you kind of lose your focus. So I just want to stay the same way.
A couple of quick ones. I saw you met Lindsey Vonn the other day, and I'm curious, how well do you know her? Did you get a chance to talk to her? Is she someone you looked up to?
Yeah, I look up to her, really. I mean, honestly, I didn't have a lot of athletes that I followed, but she was one of them when she skied. So I also read her biography, and I found huge inspiration from that. So yeah, we met a couple of times already, and we always talk for a longer time than I usually do. So I feel like for sure she's a person to talk to if I need an advice, or I just want to, talk to somebody who's cool, because she's really cool. And yeah, I mean, we've been actually kind of talking about also, mental game here. She gave me some tips, so maybe she want to be part of the team. But for sure, you can feel like, I don't know, her power even with the way she talks, and her confidence. So for sure, this is something that I might, learn from her.
Second question is, I feel like tennis these days is kind of making a bit of a crossover into pop culture with a movie like Challengers, or I watched Coco Gauff in an episode of an American show the other day. There's quite a crossover. All the celebrities are showing up more and more. How do you see that part? Are you aware of it? And how important do you think it is for tennis to kind of make that crossover?
Well, I am seeing it, but I didn't really notice that it's something new, because it's hard to compare to the times where I weren't really on tour, where I wasn't really on tour. So yeah, but I watched Wimbledon, this movie, when I was younger, so I kind of felt like there are some movies, but if you're actually a better person to judge, because you're kind of following that and always making articles about it or some tweets. So if you say so, it must be true. It's good that our discipline is getting more popular, and I think it's fun and pretty cool. And honestly, maybe it's sometimes harder to cheer for one player, because if you're kind of cheering for the team, you always have this 100% certainty that the team is gonna be there, even if one player is gonna be injured or whatever. But I think tennis is nice because it all depends on us. The pressure is big, and because it's an individual sport, I think it makes it more more fun and like more exciting. So watch tennis.
Yeah, when you come back on clay from hard court, do you really have to work specifically to adjust, or for you is it that natural that you don't have to do it anymore? Especially thinking that after Wimbledon from grass, you'll have to go back to clay.
Well, I would say for sure it's easier this way, going from hard to clay, but still there are things to adjust because honestly, if you've been playing one way for a couple of months, you need to kind of switch your mindset sometimes during the rallies or make different decisions. So yeah, you need time for sure. Everybody needs it, I think. But also, I think the most important thing is not to like treat clay the same way everywhere, because honestly in Stuttgart it's different. Here it's much different than Rome and Paris. In Rome it's the slowest, so you go from the fastest in Madrid to like the slowest in Rome, then to kind of average in Paris. So there are things to adjust and to focus on for sure.
We have time for 2 more questions, please.
Hi, Iga. Today could be Rafa's last match here in Madrid. You are a pretty solid player in clay. I would like to know how has he inspired your game, if he has in any way.
Well, I don't want to really predict any future and talk about his last match, because I think he's kind of focusing on this tournament like on any other one. So I just hope he's going to play here as long as possible. And what was the... Oh yeah, well for sure he is a huge inspiration, but I said was because when I was younger he was basically the only player I looked up to, and but not because of his game on clay, more because of the way he is off the court as well, and how he never gives up, and also his mentality.
I'm curious, what has growing up playing tennis on clay brought you and your game that you might not have if you played more on other surfaces?
Well, I think basically my topspin, and it's kind of like the feeling of the court, I would say. I can't really, specifically say it's one thing or another besides the spin, but I don't know, maybe I'm just more used to slower surfaces, and that's all. So it's easier.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you. See you.